What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rowdy Player One channel. Today we have got a review of a book that I was not expecting to like at all, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I am very, I was very intrigued going into it, to say the least, and I was pleasantly surprised. We'll say that. Now, before we get started, before I give my review of this, I wanted to say me and Chris from the Bearded Book Beast and Molly Macabre from Where the Macabre Things Are and Timothy Wolf all got together. We read this together, and he'll be putting, Chris will be putting out a video kind of going over all of our stuff as we read it each week, and then we'll be doing a live stream at some point, I think this month. I'm not 100% for sure, but I think that is right. So anyways, let's get started. All right, so first thing we're going to do plot. Now, the easiest way to describe this plot is it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, pretty much. Obviously things are different, but that's kind of how it is. It's got, you got Feyre, who is kind of like Belle, and you've got Tamlin, who is like the Beast, basically. But the plot of it is Feyre, the story starts out, Feyre's in the woods. She's hunting to feed her family, and she ends up killing this wolf, brings it back. Turns out the wolf was a friend of Tamlin, which is part of the Fae in another world, and he comes seeking retribution, basically. That's like where we got problems. But in this romancy book, he offers Feyre a choice to either you come back to where I live, or I'm gonna kill you all. That's pretty much how it is. So she, of course, agrees, and things progress from there. There's this disease that's taken over the place where he's at, and he's trying to find a cure for it, to figure out how to get it fixed, and things go crazy. So, main characters, you're going to have Feyre, of course, you're going to have Tamlin, and then I would say Lucian is probably the third main character. He is basically Tamlin's right-hand man, you'd say. Feyre is very strong-willed. She fights for her family. She has to hunt for them. And then basically whenever she gets over to the other realm where Tamlin is from, if they tell her to do something, tell her not to do something, she's going to do it anyways, because that's just kind of how she rolls, and it don't matter what it is. And even when they tell her, do not do this, she has to do it anyways. Tamlin is a beast slash man, can go back and forth, or a fae, and it's interesting. And I was surprised it was actually good with the characters. I liked most of them pretty much. There's some other ones that are kind of side characters that I enjoyed, but then you go to pace. Pace wise, I would say it's evenly paced. Definitely it flows really well. Like, I mean, there's always something on the horizon about to happen, or, like I said before, if they tell Feyre not to do something, you can look ahead that, oh, she's about to do it. And the action, like in the court intrigue, because there's different courts, like they're in the spring court, and then there's the winter court and the summer court. Like, there's these different courts, and they all meet up and do different things, but you don't learn too much about that during the book. I'm sure that's in the later books, but pace wise, I thought it was really, really good. I can't really remember anything that was slow or that was boring. I had going through the book, we did like 12 chapters a week. And the first 12 chapters were like, holy crap, this is amazing. The next 12 were okay. And then the last two were like, oh, this is really good. So I think they did or Sarah J. Maas did a really good job on pace wise on doing it. Tone wise, I would say it's adult fantasy or adult fairy tale type tone. You know, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it's good. You know, if you're interested in anything romantic, I would definitely suggest starting here because it surprised me. Prose wise, I really enjoyed. I thought the characters were really well fleshed out. Thought she did a really good job on explaining everything with far as Tamlin and what all he's dealing with, and you know, with this curse on the land, and then Feyre on how I would feel like she's pretty strong willed and just does what she feels like she needs to do or wants to do. Um, Another thing that I thought was really good, every time you read something and you have like questions like why is this happening or why is that? Every one of them gets answered. Like I was very surprised that like, you know, there's really not much stuff that's just left out that you don't like. It's nearly everything like gets answered. I'll tell you one thing that I was very surprised with too, far as I felt like a pro. I'm not big on info dumps, and this book has a crazy huge info dump in it. But I felt like I learned so much stuff. Like it was actually a really good job at info dumping, if you'd say. And then I thought the villain was really good. You find out, I don't want to say the name of who it is because that's kind of a spoiler, but it's like this mysterious person, and you're thinking the whole time, oh, okay, this is like a big bad, you know, like impossible to defeat and all that, and you know, you don't really know who it is until I'd say way later on in the book, and turns out really good villain. Really enjoyed it. The cons, I would say, not fond of the romance parts, which it's a romantasy. You're gonna get it. It's not terrible, but there is some things that if you're not into romance type stuff, it'll make you pull the collar and let some heat out because you'll be blushing. I would say. I know I felt like I blushed a few times reading some of that stuff. So it was very interesting to say the least. And then one other I'm going to say con is I don't like all the purring. And I know that sounds crazy, but in like a lot of the ways that she writes some of her sentences, she's like, so and so said this and was purring or what. I'm like, why in the world would you write? I don't know, that really got me. There's weird ways to make the way she writes sentences in this book that really gets me. And like one of them was something about like, you know, you get tingles down your spine. She writes it in a way of something like a spider crawling down your spine or something. Like it's wild. That's all I can say. But that's basically my only bad things. Final thoughts. I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed this book. It really blew me away on how much I thought it was actually pretty good. It's good enough that I plan on continuing the series, and I never thought I'd say that whenever I started on this little reading buddy read thing that we did, and whenever just thinking about it, I was like, there's no way I'm going to enjoy this, but I'm going to do it for the laughs. And I got the laughs, and I dadgum enjoyed it. So, rating wise, I'm going to give this a 4.25 stars. The ending is so good. Like, I really like the ending. You take out, like I said, the purring and the romantic parts. Obviously, then it'd just be a dang fantasy book. I get it. I get the whole point of it. But holy cow, I am excited to continue on reading in this series, and who knows from there. I may turn into a romantasy channel. Hey, no, that's not happening. But it'd be crazy if it did. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Go give it a shot if you have not. It's not awful. Just get over a few things. Other than that, it's good. If you would, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've read it. If you plan on reading it, I would suggest doing it just to try it. And subscribe to the channel and leave a like, of course. Other than that, y'all have a good day. Bye.